Hi, I'm Nancy O'Neill. On Suncoast FYI today are Chris Alexander from Shelterbox USA, Laura Avery with a preview of a new exhibition underway at Selby Gardens, and Wendy Valquez and Andrew Lyman with Hope for Children and Families, all next on Suncoast FYI. Last year was an intense year for storms. Today we introduce you to a Suncoast charity delivering shelter to families devastated by disaster and conflict. Communications Manager Chris Alexander joins me now to talk about this. Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you for having me, Nancy.
To start with, tell us about Shelterbox and how it helps with disaster relief, please.
Sure. Shelterbox is an international disaster relief charity, and we specialize in hand delivering emergency tented shelter to survivors of natural disaster or conflict anywhere in the world. Now, in addition to tented shelter, we supply other critical humanitarian aid items like solar lights, water filtration kits, blankets, bed sheets, that kind of stuff.
Those don't come in the boxes when you deliver them, or they do?
Everything can come in the box, yes.
Everything comes in a box.
This is our most iconic aid item, the green shelter box. Mm-hmm. So inside this box you would find the tent and a customized assortment of humanitarian aid. Now the key with Shelterbox is that we believe every disaster is different, every community is different, mm-hmm. So we customize the aid that we deliver to the beneficiaries. And we hand deliver them to every single family, whether it's our response teams that deliver it, mm-hmm. or our trusted aid partners in areas that are difficult to work in because of security.
Okay, how many people does this box service?
So one box goes to one family, okay. And that family could be different sizes, but we say between an average size of 4 to 6 people.
Okay. And so critical supplies, I mean, people can go find out more about that. There's a lot I want to talk to you about. So you've been involved now since 2013.
Yes.
And we talked earlier, you said this year alone, how many displaced families are there?
There's 85 million people displaced around the world right now. It's the highest displacement of humans in the history of the planet. Now, the bulk of that comes from conflict situations, mm-hmm. and we're operating in those areas like Syria, Iraq, the Lake Chad Basin in Africa, mm-hmm. which has 4 different countries, mm-hmm. And then the rest were natural disasters, which we're seeing greater intensity and frequency around the world.
I know, too much. So what makes this different from other charities that you and I know about?
Sure. I think that there are key differences between Shelterbox and other charities, mm-hmm. one being our volunteer program.
Sure.
We have hundreds of volunteers around the world. Some of those volunteers are on our Shelterbox response team, mm-hmm. and these are men and women that volunteer their time to go to disaster sites and deliver our aid to beneficiaries. We have an ambassador network here in the U.S. Those are volunteers that raise awareness and donations for Shelterbox. Mm-hmm. That's how I started with the organization. Mm-hmm. And this could be somebody that champions our work on social media, to volunteers that do a bucket list item, something that they've always wanted to do, but they translate that into something that can raise awareness about our humanitarian work.
Okay, so 2017 was an intense year for disasters, and how did Shelterbox respond?
Yeah, I think 2017 was a very intense year, and we operated in those conflict areas, those ongoing conflict areas, mm-hmm. Syria, Iraq, and Lake Chad Basin in Africa.
And how do you get these there? You say hand deliver. I mean, how do you get them to where they have to be?
That's a tough question to answer because every disaster has its own challenges.
Sure.
Ultimately, we do it any way possible, mm-hmm. whether it's by train, by plane, by goat,
okay.
by tuk-tuk, or carried by hand. Okay. We get these boxes to the people that need them any way possible. Okay. But to answer your question about 2017, mm-hmm. We operated in the Caribbean after all of the hurricanes last year, mm-hmm. 6 different countries, including the island of Barbuda, which was evacuated for the first time in 300 years. There was nobody on the island. It was 95% destroyed.
Yes.
And so Shelterbox was instrumental in helping the people that were coming back to the island. Mm-hmm. In our U.S. response, we operated in Texas after Hurricane Harvey, mm-hmm. And there we provided privacy tents in large areas of congregated shelter. So like the Georgia R. Brown Convention Center. We provided tents for privacy and dignity issues like medical screenings, counseling, breastfeeding.
Whatever somebody needs. You brought something with you, and I'd like to
I
show
did.
because we only have a minute left.
Sure. So among the 8 items that Shelterbox provides is
Yeah.
the Luminate solar light, right? And so this plaque's flat in our shelter box, which
Yep.
is great for shipping, but then it inflates and it creates a light that's perfect for nighttime security, for reading, basically anything you need to do.
That is so cool. Okay. So that's why you can get so much in a box. And again, like I said, I wish we had more time, but you've got a volunteer story you wanted to share.
Yeah, we have an amazing local volunteer. His name's Eric Elsey. He lives in Cape Coral. And starting this Saturday, he's going to canoe the entire length of the Mississippi River to raise awareness for Shelterbox.
Awesome. Now, where can our viewers go to learn more about how to get involved, Chris?
Sure. If you want to donate, volunteer, learn more about our work, you can visit shelterboxusa.org.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for doing all of this hard work. I'm humbled by the work that, you have so many volunteers helping you with.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Nancy.
Coming up after the break, we'll show you a brand new exhibit at Selby Gardens.